May I request that we kindly take our seats? After bilateral talks between Kenya and Malaysia, His Excellency the President, together with the Honorable Prime Minister, will deliver a joint press statement. But before that, we have an exchange of MOUs. So at this point, allow me to invite His Excellency Dr. Musalia Mudavadi, Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, on behalf of the Republic of Kenya, to just stand at the marked position, together with Senator Datuk Sri Utama Tengku Zafrul bin Tengku Abdulaziz, the Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry, on behalf of the Government of Malaysia. We may present the MOUs. Now, the bilateral air service agreement between the Government of the Republic of Kenya and the Government of Malaysia. The objective of the agreement is to establish a regulatory framework under which designated airlines between Kenya and Malaysia will operate international air transport service between and beyond the respective territories. May I kindly request that Your Excellency Musalia Mudavadi, you may take your seat, but let's have Datuk Sri Tengku Zafrul remain in his position. At this point, allow me to invite Honorable Rebecca Miano, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, on behalf of the Republic of Kenya. You may present the MOU. The Memorandum of Understanding in the field of tourism between the Government of the Republic of Kenya and the Government of Malaysia. The objective of the MOU is to promote and develop cooperation in the field of tourism between the two countries. May I kindly request that Honorable Rebecca Miano, you may take your seat, but let's still have Datuk Sri Tengku Zafrul remain in his position. And at this point, allow me to invite Honorable Salim Mvurya, the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy, Sports, on behalf of the Republic of Kenya. The MOU is between National Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Malaysia and the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The objective of the MOU is to promote trade and investment relations between the two countries. Thank you. May I request Honorable Salim Mvurya to maintain your position as I request the Datuk Sri Tengku Zafrul to take his seat. At this point, allow me to invite the Datuk Sri Dr. Zaliha Mustafa to take her position. Now, this is a letter of intent between Nairobi City County and Kuala Lumpur City Hall. They may exchange. And a clap would be good. The objective of this instrument between the two cities is to formally express their mutual interest and commitment to cooperate in specific areas of common interest. Thank you very much. I'll request that you both take your seats. And at this point, allow me to invite His Excellency the President for the joint press statement. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, Prime Minister of Malaysia, and your distinguished delegation. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya is honored to host you, Your Excellency, on this historic visit, the first by a Malaysian Prime Minister in nearly 2 decades, and one that coincides with our celebration of 60 years of Kenya-Malaysia diplomatic relations. Our discussions today, ladies and gentlemen, reinforced our long-standing friendship while charting an ambitious future together. We agreed to elevate our bilateral architecture by upgrading to a strategic bilateral partnership, ensuring that our cooperation advances with purpose and structure. We reaffirmed our commitment to removing tariff and non-tariff barriers, expanding Kenyan exports to Malaysia and vice versa, and deepening cooperation in digital technology and high-tech manufacturing. In this regard, I welcome Your Excellency's agreement to eliminate tariffs on agricultural produce and beef, a significant step that will open new market opportunities for Kenyan farmers and strengthen the commercial foundation of our partnership. The removal of these tariffs, Mr. Prime Minister, is especially significant given the structure of our current trade, where Kenya's main exports to Malaysia include tea, coffee, flowers, avocados, titanium ores, and beef, while imports from Malaysia consist primarily of edible oils and fats, chemical products, electronic, agricultural chemicals, and rubber. This profile underscores the importance of the potential of broadening our commercial ties. Our engagement culminated in the signing of the agreements you have witnessed here, a bilateral air service agreement to expand connectivity and ease of travel between our two countries to boost trade and tourism. A second MOU on tourism cooperation to strengthen two-way tourism investment and joint destination marketing. A letter of intent on the twinning of Nairobi and Kuala Lumpur to enhance city-level cooperation in urban planning, technology, and service delivery. And an MOU between the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the National Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Malaysia to deepen private sector partnership and unlock our new business opportunities. And I know, Prime Minister, you will be attending to the business forum between the two chambers and our business people. And together, these instruments mark the beginning of a broader and deeper strategic partnership for mutual benefit. This visit comes at a defining moment for Kenya as we advance a new national roadmap inspired by the experience of Malaysia and other Asian tigers, nations that rose through discipline, strategy, and a commitment to excellence. In our discussions, we agreed that Malaysia will explore partnerships and investments across our key priority areas, including collaboration in STEM and in research and matters education. And I want to commend you, Mr. Prime Minister, that you will be meeting with some of our education stakeholders later today as part of our human capital development that is central to Kenya's development. Last week, we did unveil a new plan that's going to get our human capital to develop at a rate that is going to be commensurate with the development we want to undertake in the next 10 to 15 years. The Prime Minister has said will be engaging with stakeholders as part of that effort. We also agreed to strengthen the semiconductor bilateral relationship as part of Kenya's human capital development and manufacturing, including industrial agenda. Through a strategic partnership, Malaysia will support Kenya to grow and expand its semiconductor technology and manufacturing capabilities, including the experience we already have, as I mentioned to you, Mr. Prime Minister, with one of our universities, Kimathi University, that has already courses in that field. And thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister, for accepting to support Kenya with training opportunities for our engineers and high-level professionals to support industrialization as part of the diversification of our economy, walking in the footsteps of what your country has done. I was looking at the numbers. Your country was an agricultural country like Kenya. But today, you stand out because you have diversified your economy, and today you export manufactured goods to America and to many other destinations. And I want to tell you, Mr. Prime Minister, we are walking in the footsteps of Malaysia, and we hope to catch up with you soon. As part of our broader transformation agenda, I have invited Malaysian private sector to participate in public-private partnerships, including investments in road network expansion, And I have informed the Prime Minister that some of your big engineering companies are welcome to work with us as we expand our highways by another 2,500 kilometers and another 28,000 kilometers of road around Kenya. There will be opportunities for private-public partnership. There will be opportunities for investment. And I know that the huge private sector team that came with you will be looking at these opportunities and finding how they can work with their Kenyan counterparts. Additionally, we exchanged views on regional peace, security, and multilateral cooperation. We acknowledged Malaysia's efforts in Eastern Asia region and Kenya's peace efforts in East and the Horn of Africa. We also expressed support for America's and President Trump's intervention in Sudan crisis, which has now escalated into a very serious humanitarian catastrophe. We also reaffirmed our shared commitment on the reform of the global financial architecture and the reform of the United Nations. Africa has demanded 2 permanent seats on the UN Security Council with full rights, including the power of veto, as well as 2 additional non-permanent seats. With 54 countries and a population of 1.4 billion people, it is both unfair and undemocratic for the continent to remain excluded from the world's top decision-making body. I conveyed our appreciation for Malaysia for supporting the upgrade and expansion of the United Nations office in Nairobi, the only UN office headquarters presence in the Global South. Likewise, the international financial architecture must be reformed and democratized to ensure that Africa and the wider Global South are treated equitably so that they can access concessional financing at scale, just as members of the Global North do. Your Excellency, your presence in Nairobi is a powerful affirmation that Kenya's ambition meets Malaysia's experience at exactly the right moment. As we rise, we draw inspiration from nations like yours that embraced bold ambition over limitation and chose excellence instead of mediocrity. Kenya now stands ready to take its place among nations that we started with, like your own nation. When I made a comment in Parliament last week that you were visiting our country, there was tremendous applause because we have been having a big conversation in Kenya about where we are and where we should be. And I am very proud that today we have you right here in Kenya so that even as we have this conversation, we can bring it home with your presence here that Malaysia, which was an agricultural country like Kenya 60 years ago, today has an economy 20 times larger than ours, has an economy that is diversified, has a GDP per capita that is maybe also 20 times higher than ours. And we say this because we believe we can do it the same way your country did it. And I am very encouraged. I am inspired when I look at you, Prime Minister, look at what Malaysia has been able to achieve and the steps you have taken, the decisions you have made as a country, the path that you have chosen that has made you the country that you are today. And as a people, we associate ourselves with Malaysia in many ways. And as you have asked me, I will be visiting, by God's grace, I will be visiting your country next year. And I will carry quite a bit of the private sector with me and many others, so that when I discuss with the people of Kenya the housing program, where the greatest inspiration came from Singapore and Malaysia, they can come and see what Malaysia has done on the housing program. They can come and see the kind of human resource development that you have done. They can also come and see what you have done in matters of health, even as we drive our own universal health coverage here in Kenya. It is amongst the lessons that we have learned from your country. And Mr. Prime Minister, I will also have the opportunity, because I've been to your country 3 times, for Kenyans to see the kind of infrastructure, modern infrastructure that you have put up in your country, and the one that we are envisioning as Kenya. And it is really a proud moment for me as I engage with you, because you bring home the many things that we have been discussing as a country as to the possibilities of what can be achieved if the right decisions are made, if we don't compromise, if we don't settle for the average, if we eliminate mediocrity, and we make the decisions that will take our country forward. Mr. Prime Minister, I express my deepest appreciation to His Majesty King Sultan Ibrahim Sultan, to Your Excellency, Mr. Prime Minister, your government, and the people of Malaysia for this very important brotherly visit. Welcome.
Thank you, President Ruto. And Kenya is a great country for hosting us and my delegation. I'm particularly delighted to be here. It's a great country, great history of struggle. And we have seen under your stewardship the determination to propel not only the economy but the infrastructure, and to ensure that Kenya emerge as a great nation. I mean, you have been extremely humble in your remarks. I've seen the potential. I've seen the enormous strides you have made in the housing sector, for example, which is most commendable. I don't think many countries, including Malaysia, has embarked that fast and that effective, because your passion to provide housing for the people, particularly the poor, from Kenya. So congratulations, Mr. President. We have decided, both of us at least, and the government, to enhance the bilateral relations into a strategic partnership which would cover all fields of endeavor. And the traditional agriculture, import, but also in new technology. You are also very as concerned on the issue in energy transition and digital transformation, including semiconductors, data center, and AI. And I think we can share our experience and yours through university collaboration, to research, and through various forms of investments. And I think there's absolutely no reason why a country like Kenya, with such enormous potential, and Malaysia, cannot effectively collaborate and benefit from each other's strength. We have been, both have been ex-colony of the West, and it's time that we emerge as a forceful voice, but beginning with, of course, the management of our own country, our economy, our governance, and you see, with clarity of purpose and policies. And I, therefore, must express my profound regards and appreciation for your single determination. You are tough. and certainly, country like Kenya, Malaysia, although we are a democracy, but we need leaders who have clarity of vision, who have firm determination, because otherwise we'll be left behind. And you President, I'm particularly not only excited but assured meeting you and looking at this country. And of course, the advantage of visits like this is that you prepare, you learn, relearn the new ventures, the new initiatives. And I have great belief that Kenya will be one of the stars in Africa. And I'm therefore, on behalf of my colleagues in Malaysia and the people of Malaysia, not only in expressing my profound thanks to you, but to assure you that we will have to execute this. And I've given my assurance that prior to your visit, which is not going to be too late, maybe early next year, and we will make sure that some of the broad parameters and execution of the decisions must be made earlier. December, January, February, we still have a few months. But we must showcase that we can do it. And listening to you and looking what we have done in this country, I believe that we can showcase to the world that the collaboration of countries can affect change and will benefit immensely the welfare of their people. On international issues, again, we share a common position. No amount of hectoring about human rights and democracy by those in power over the West can change a position that there is hardly any democratic tradition or process, even in the United Nations. This is a misnomer, is a contradiction in terms. So we have been calling for that, and I believe certainly it is a new Africa. Africa is no longer a colony. And there's a huge potential, economic potential, and also in terms of population and demography. So it is, to me, totally unacceptable for us to accept both the international architecture or the United Nations or trading arrangements the same manner that we inherit in the past. We are a new voice, asserting our confidence. And I, of course, will continue to support and assure you that our commitment is beyond these exhortations, but we'll do whatever is necessary to make sure that justice prevails. Now, on the issue of Gaza, we did discuss. Of course, the atrocities must end, and we support the initial initiative by President Trump of the United States of America. But of course, we call for a comprehensive solution that will assure and guarantee the peace in the region. Similarly, in the Sudan, although we are far away, but we detest this foreign involvement, not to resolve, but also but instead to cause more divisions and killings. And I share your concern that if the United States is determined to cease in the process, we certainly wish them well, and we'll do again what's necessary. Now, similarly, some of the other countries, Congo, for example, in Africa, and I admire your tenacity to participate in this process, because we need a peaceful region. And if I may conclude by saying that we are fortunate in Malaysia because we're in the ASEAN region, relatively the most peaceful in the world. Well, there are some skirmishes here and there, but certainly it is considered to be one of the most peaceful regions. And all these countries, all my neighbors, all focus on transformation, on effecting changes, and therefore it has become, right now, the most, in terms of economic progress, the fastest growing economy in the world. And Africa has that potential, and we are not just, this is not just a normal diplomatic engagement. President, you are able to charm us from Malaysia. And I consider this a great visit, short but very meaningful. And we have forged this friendship based on trust and confidence. And I will do whatever is necessary to make sure that we affect the change and the decisions that we have made. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And just to announce that we have a new tea ambassador, Kenyan tea ambassador in Malaysia.
Your Excellency, the Honorable Prime Minister, that brings us to the end of this session. I'll request that we all rise as we allow His Excellency, together with the Honorable Prime Minister, to take leave.